Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sibongiseni if you are new. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Please don't forget to click the subscribe button down below so that you can become a part of my little family. Okay, so today I decided that I'm going to do a story time. Yeah, so I got my little setup here. I've got the heater in front of me, the gas heater, because Jonga, Gabana is South Africa, like our land today. So I've got my tea to drink. And yeah, let's get into the story time. So this story time is about how my boyfriend and I found out that his child was actually not his. Okay, so let me start from when him and I started dating, because like it's gonna make sense when you hear that. So basically my boyfriend and I started dating in 2017, but we've known each other like literally all our lives. We grew up in like the same neighborhood. So the years go by, I have a kid, he has a kid, né? And it was just one of those things where we'd have like conversations sometimes, when we bump into each other, like, on the bus, going to work, going to school and all of that. So, this is now when we're older. They're, okay, how's your child? How's your child? Oh no, she's this old now, wada, all of that. Yeah, cool. And like we were never friends, we just knew each other from the neighborhood. In 2017 though, we started hanging out. His group of friends and my friends would hang out together, and like we'd just go out together like and have a good time. Like we were just like the groups clicked because we were like vibey, right? So they've got a vibe, we've got a vibe. So it was just one of those things where it was actually fun to go out with each other. Cool. In the midst of that, going out, every other weekend together, I'd hear from my friend who would, oh no, I called Abo Nati, they doing 1, 2, 3, they said we should pull through and all of that. Oh, okay, cool. It was like that type of vibe. So in that vibe, we ended up liking each other. Liking each other. Okay, cool. I'm single in this whole situation. He has got his baby mama and his kid, they've got that situation, right? So initially I'm like, nah, we're not doing that, because you've got a person and all of that. But it wasn't something that we even thought was like serious or whatever. And me having no ties, I was just like, whatever happens, happens. You are the one that's got the problems. I'm not there. Cool. But now feelings are being caught, okay? On both sides. So now I'm like, okay, this if we're going to do this, then like it's not going to be a thing where you've got two people and stuff. Like we can just date it now, or you need to make a decision. Okay, so he tells me that no, him and his baby mama have had like a lot of ups and downs, okay, in their relationship. Whatever, like who has not heard that before? But he says no, they've had a lot of ups and downs, and even now they recently just got back together after the up-teenth breakup. So there were people that were on and off. And from his side, it was just a thing of, this is my baby mama, mother of my child, like, we need to make it work because of that, right? But now we've got such strong feelings for each other. Now it's like, actually, this was supposed to be done a long time ago. This is him and his baby mama now. He believes that, this was supposed to be done a long time ago. They've just been prolonging it and also trying to make it work for the kid, right? Cool. So I'm like, yo, listen, whatever it is that you got going on, you need to finish that and see what you're doing with that before we can see what's happening here, right? Cool. So he's like, yo, no problem. Absolutely no problem. Like they've been going through it. Like their stories, like it was a lot. Hey, and on both sides. Both sides. Absolutely nobody was right in that situation. Like they were like just bad for each other. Like it was that hectic. Cool. So he calls it off with the baby mama. So now it was messy. And obviously because she's hurt, she did a few petty things and she was just she was just acting out, okay? Cool. So him and I are doing this thing, we're dating, whatever. Like it's a lot, hey? Like it became like extremely hectic because his family knows her and they love her. I mean, she's the mother of their grandchild, okay? And I'm the side chick. I'm the what do you call the what do you call that thing? What is it? But I'm breaking up happy homes, okay? I'm the side piece, cool. So I'm just like, at first I was just like, whatever, I don't care what they say and stuff, but I actually did care. But yeah, whatever. That's not the point of the story, by the way. Anyway, this was in 2017, ne? And Nati's child was born in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. In a relationship, okay? And with that comes like your partner's problems and obviously my problems, So now because we're in a full relationship, because at first like we were just hanging out, partying, and yes, we'd have conversations about kids and stuff, but nothing like really deep. But now we're in a relationship and it's like, okay, we're gonna find out about each other, we're gonna talk, like what happened with your baby daddy, what happened with your baby mama, like why, like is it getting to a point where you guys can't be together, those type of conversations. Okay, cool. So in those conversations, like it comes up that they've had like a really really up and down relationship, like from the get-go, okay? And families were fighting. Her family was fighting him. He was unable to see the child, like they keep the child from him and stuff like that. So I'm there like, you dazenda zifaka. You know the thing about ushaya isitina kanti umuntu umthula umthwalo? Yeah, I'm joking. But yeah, I was there like, yo, okay. Kanti like go deep, go hectic, okay? So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. In my mind, I'm like, at that point, ne, it doesn't really involve me, does it? I'm just a girlfriend. Like you and I could break up tomorrow. Yeah, obviously that was not the case. But it was one of those things where it was like I can't really be in his nabas like that because I'm not his wife. Like we far from that. Like that conversation has not even been brought up or whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah, I experienced these ups and downs as well because it's going to be like things like, oh, okay, cool. When are you picking up your son so that you guys can spend time together and stuff? Like you always like with me or with your friends or whatever. No, I reached out to her. She told me that her dad doesn't want me to come and fetch the child. What? Hey. Okay, me I don't understand, ne? I don't get it. But I found the situation like that, and again I'm just the girlfriend. What am I gonna do? Okay, cool. I'd see like the text messages, people are fighting. Like they really just could not get along. Like guys, they could not get along. Yeah, so now, I'm also involved obviously because Nina, Lisa apparently and all of that and this, that and that. But I'm just like, she's just acting out because she's hurt. Probably, that's what I'm thinking. And as much as I really didn't have anything to do with their breakup, it was literally his decision. And like, but she needed someone to blame and it was me. And I was just like, it's fine. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to do anything. All the pettiness and Shaya and all of that. I was just like, I'm not going to respond. You're not going to touch me though. But I'm not going to respond because I feel like go through it, you know, it's a breakup. Go through it, deal with it. However, I'm just gonna be silent and I'm gonna let you do what you need to do, because yes, you probably feel like it's all my fault, you know. Cool. Then yeah, we get to 2018 comes past. Like there's these ups and downs, guys. Like there's these things that I'm seeing. I'm seeing that my boyfriend doesn't get to spend time with his son. I'm seeing like they're fighting as well, and it's also affecting the child. I'm seeing all of those things, and I'm seeing that he's also not maintaining properly. His maintaining is also up and down with the child. So I'm observing all of these things, right? And me having my own issues with my own baby daddy, I initially was like, you are wrong to my boyfriend now. You are wrong, because as a woman with a child and baby daddy issues, I always am predisposed to take the side of the woman, right? So when I see that my boyfriend is not maintaining properly, I'm just like, okay, cool. But now, as an outsider, I'm not necessarily an impartial party, because obviously I'm dating my man and I'm gonna stick beside him. But as an outsider, I'm seeing, oh, low ends. So for me, it was like, wow, to actually see it from both sides. I was like, okay. Sharp. Then, so now it was like a tit for tat situation. You're not gonna see your child because you don't give me money, and then he is on the other side on some, I'm not gonna give you money because you don't want me to see my child. Yeah, boy? Sharp. Alright, the years go past, lots of messed up things happen, whatever. In 2020, ne? 2020, yes. 2020, end November, December vibes, right? So much shit has gone down at this point. Like me and Nati's family, his mom, like we're not on good terms. I'm in a way not even welcome at the house and stuff, because I get in like I'm closer, guys. Yeah, that's me. So it's one of those things, and I'm just like, whatever. It's bothering us. It did also cause a lot of friction in our relationship, to a point where I was just like, as in, don't, let's just break up, because anybody got time for this? I didn't do anything. Like, what the hell did I do? You know? But anyway, so again, because my man is like, yeah, you dating me, you're not dating my mom, you dating me, you know. I shot namge. Come to Galan Bebo. Oh, that's me. Sharp. Then in 2020, his mom actually gets sick and tired of the fighting, the ups and downs and stuff, because it does involve the family. Because I mean, if Mina as a grandmother, I'm like, go and fetch my grandchild, I want to spend some time with him, and you come back to me and say, oh, they don't want that side. It's like, it's annoying, and it's one of those things where they put up with it for so many years. I mean, the child was born in 2014, you know, it's 2017 now. They've never even spent one Christmas with the child ever since he was born. What they do is the mom's family, the mom and her family would ship him off, like emakaya, literally beginning of November, middle of November. Né? By end of November, when Nati sends a message and is like, hey, what are the December plans this year? Can I please spend Christmas with him? Oh no! Usamakaya already, I shipped him off. You should have said something earlier. You should have said something when you were shipping him off. Like, what do you mean? You should have said, Uguti, listen, Tana's going on this day, says Aranji, you know? And then he was going to say, Uguti, actually, no, I had planned to do 1, 2, 3. And then in the same breath, you've shipped the child off already. And then you're like, oh, by the way, please can you send money for Christmas clothes? The other one is petty, the other one is better, the other one is there like, nah. Bring him here, I'll buy him clothes when he's here, you know? It was that type of vibe. Okay, cool. So now sorry, off track, sorry. So my boyfriend's mom then decides that she's tired of it, like it's enough now. She speaks to a friend of hers, ne? And this friend suggested, oh no, you must call umuntu so. Umuntu so actually works like for children's court and stuff like that. She doesn't do anything, she just advises him on the process to follow. That she said I must contact. Advised me to take her to court. Which is what you guys didn't want to do in the first place. Ne? Then they decided, Guti, let's do it. Because at this point, we're going they'd go for like 4 months without seeing their child. He now initiates the court process. All right, okay. Goes to court, lays down his story. They're like, okay, cool. Ne? They take the details and everything, and then you need to go and serve that person. Ne? With like the court, is it a court order? I don't know. But when they're telling you, you need to attend court on this certain date because unekiana eliso sharp. He goes, he serves her. No, he goes, he gets the thing, and then they're like, you need to go to the nearest police station to your area so that you can have like the police to escort you to go and serve this person. Yay! Guys, Jonah was lit that day. He says, okay, baby, let's go, baby. Me, problem number one. Kaloku mna ndi enemy yokuqala mna. But I'm like, I need to support my man, and I'm not gonna say anything. Foot to those cops there. What you gonna do? Sharp. Then we go to the police station. We get to the police station, and this is not a big deal, by the way. The cops, I think, just escort you in case things get out of hand, and they sort of like witnesses that if the party doesn't show up at court, there were people that saw that you were requested. So you can't go to court and say, good to know me, now I never got a request to come to court. You know, it's more for that. It's not for like muscle and, you know. And also, I think maybe in some instances, someone would take offense to that and maybe try to do something. So, you know. So yeah, take the cops with you and they go and they serve. You go to her house. Nah. And then he calls her and says, can you please come outside? I'm at home. It is. Can you please come outside? Hey, she's shocked. Ne? Because, like, he never just, like, shows up, you know? Hi, okay. She comes out. She sees the police van. Ne? If I get down, girl, you know, it was a cold day. She she's chilling. She got her gown on, she comes out, she sees the cops, she sees me. She's confused, you can see, Nje. She sees me in the car, I didn't get out of the car. I'm like, I didn't get out of the car. But yeah, she sees me, and then she's got her hands in her pocket, in the gown. Better la walk, kubona la walk, le. You know? Alright, cool. She comes, my boyfriend is shaking, shame. He was scared because I think it was one of those moments where it was like, you know, you may not be doing the wrong thing, but you feel like, oh, I've started gag now, you know, like I could literally now be starting something that's going to just be a pain in my ass forever, you know, because they're already fighting already. So now it's like, oh, yeah, it was one of those things. So okay, cool. So I got that. The cops are there. They're just standing there. They're just there to like observe. Are you who? Yeah. This is who. This person went to court and then they're here to serve you. Please just sign here to acknowledge that you received it. Then they also sign to say as witnesses on this date, Simkaile, she knows that she needs to be way sharp. And then it's by after that. So when they are there, Natty serves her. The cops explains that this is what's happening, right? And there was a lady cop there as well. And then Natty's ex-girlfriend, she's pulling all of these stunts. So she's pulling all of those, ne? And then the cop says, the lady cop says, just size her up first, and he's like, sis, like, this is like not really my business. Like, I'm not supposed to interfere in this, but what's your problem? She keeps quiet. She doesn't say anything. Everybody keeps quiet. And she's like, I'm not even sure if everything is true, obviously, since we're court, but we've got men that don't support their kids. We've got men that run away from their kids. And now you've got a man that's taking you to court to see his child. And I can already see you. The problem is you. Here. And she keeps quiet. She doesn't respond. And then that lady was just like, and like, that was the end of that. Okay, cool. She gets served. They've got a court date. Court date is set for mid-December. 10 lapho. So one of those dates to court. They get in front of a judge and stuff. And like, we had saved like conversations, WhatsApp conversations, heard like denying him like access to the child, like multiple, because we thought it was going to be like TV, you know. And so he had all his evidence and all of that stuff. Sharp. They get to court. He didn't even need to bring that out. They ask you simple questions there. Just simple questions. Hi, I will use Banban. Yes. Do you know this person? Is this person's Banban's dad? Yes. This person says, Wuti, when are you denying him access to his child? Is it true? Then obviously it's there, like, it depends if you want to lie or not. You can just, but I doubt anybody just says yes. Then she responded, and then I think her response was like vague. It wasn't like yes or no. Then he was like, okay, then he asked questions like, okay, how often do you take the child? Then that's when the truth started coming out now, because now what you gonna say, you know? Then he was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes, because what you're doing is wrong. He explained it to her, that you can't do that, and then he's like, I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes, and you guys need to come up with a parenting plan on your own, because you guys need to do this, right? That's how it's supposed to be. You need to come up with a parenting plan on your own. If you are unable to, then I'll come up with one for you. Sharp. They failed to come up with one. I mean, come on. Bashlulega from 2014. In 10 minutes, they failed to come up with one. Judge comes back, is like, okay, cool. Ask more questions. Good, okay. How do you guys split weekends? There's no split. You know? How do you guys... And then he asked, do you acknowledge that this is the dad? Mom says yes. Then he's like, but why? Then, or like he doesn't see the child clearly, right? Cool. Then he says, okay, somehow the conversation around Christmas comes up, And then Nati says, Guti, he's never spent Christmas with his son. The judge was like, goes back through the papers. How old is your son? 20, born in 2014. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, boy was like 6 years, 5 years, 6 or 5. So in all these years that he's been alive, you've never spent Christmas with him? No. Okay. I was like, okay, I'm gonna write an interim parenting plan for you guys, like visiting plan. Sharp. This is what's gonna... That man wrote it in detail, okay? Down to the time when you pick him up and when you drop him off, okay? And the parenting plan was every other weekend, the child goes to the dad, right? Then he said, the upcoming holidays are this Christmas, that, okay? So on the 24th of December, Dad, do you have means to pick up the child? No, first ask Mom. Mom, do you have means to take the child to Dad? No, I don't. Dad, do you have means to pick up the child? Yes, I do. Okay. On the 24th, you will pick up that child at this time. Mom, make sure that the child is ready at that time. Pick up the child at that time. You will spend Christmas Day, day after Christmas, family day, 27th. On the 28th, Mom, what are you guys doing? No, my family, we were gonna go to Emakaya and stuff like that. That's what we do every single year. Okay, so when are you gonna go? Then she says we were gonna go on, I think, the 15th. Judge like, you won't be able to. You won't be able to do that because the child needs to go to the dad on the 24th unless you can let the child go from the 15th to the dad. And then when you go to where you need to go, dad, do you have a problem with that? No, I don't. And then you go and then you come back. No, I won't be able to. In. Okay, cool. Then it means you will have to go after Christmas. Go home after Christmas with the child. Yeah, I won't be able to. And the judge says, listen to me. This is going to happen either way because you cannot keep denying this man access to his child. Okay? So I'm going to need you to also meet us halfway. But at the end of the day, this is going to happen, right? Then she says something that, no, my dad doesn't, my dad as the head of the house doesn't allow. Then he says, you are a parent and you are of legal age, right? You and this person need to come together to figure out what are you going to do with your child. Grandfather does not have a say. You need to be responsible for that because, again, it's you that's standing in court now because of that. So you cannot say that, no, your parents do not want him to see his child. They don't have a say in that because now you're the one that's going to get into trouble. So let's figure it out. How are we going to do this? No, it's fine. I'll go after. Okay, cool. Like, okay, dad, you drop off the child on the state, right? Cool. And that's exactly how it happens. And then they're like, okay, outside of the holidays, one weekend with mom, other weekend with dad. You guys are alternating. Dad picks up child at, what time was it? Did he say 6 o'clock? Drops off at 6 o'clock. Pick up Friday, 6 o'clock. Drop off Sunday, 6 o'clock. Because we don't want we don't want the child to come home too late, They need to get to bed at a certain time. There's school and there's all of that. Sharp. They go home with the interim thing. But then they've got a date to come back next year. 2021. In March. You know how courts are. Everything is just like long. Like they'll give you a date that's like 2 months from now. So in that 2 months, we're doing that. Oh no, before I forget, in that court, right, while they're trying to figure out what exactly is happening, right, she mentions that he doesn't even maintain. Valid. And I even mentioned, I said, you're going to get into trouble as well because you're not maintaining the child, right? But I was like, and he was like, no, you know what, it's fine. It's okay. Because then if we can have a parenting visitation plan in place and a maintenance plan in place, then we never have to speak to each other again. There's no type of conversation that's that deep that needs to happen. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, and then it was like, okay, cool, actually, if we sort that out, then everything should be fine. That was December, January, I find out I'm pregnant. I find out that I'm pregnant, right? I'm skipping stages here, sorry guys. So when she mentions that he doesn't maintain in the court, the judge says, okay, cool. When we get done here, if you go out this hall and you turn left, then you go down, then you turn right, and you do this, you're gonna find a desk there. When you get there, you speak to that lady, you take a certain form, you fill it in, right? And you start a process in maintenance court. And you take him to maintenance court. Here in this court, we are doing child visitation. And in this court, you are definitely in the wrong and we're trying to rectify that. Now, those two things do not go hand in hand. They don't. Right? If he is unable to maintain and he doesn't have a job or whatever, it does not mean that he shouldn't have access to his son. Right? In that court, however, If he can maintain and is not maintaining, then he's definitely in the wrong. But it's two separate things. You cannot react you cannot react to him not maintaining by keeping the child from him, and he can also not react to you keeping the child from him by not maintaining, right? Cool. Sharp. And that was the end of that in that court. Ne? Sharp. January. Obviously, the judge told her that must go to maintenance court. Ne? And honestly, I expected that from day one. I was just there like, hey, yo, they're gonna fire you. But I knew. So, Vele January. Was it January? February, I think. She goes to maintenance court. She files something, whatever. Ne. But also, ne, in the middle of him not maintaining, the not maintaining was sending physical cash. Otherwise, that child was on medical aid. That child was, like, he was being taken care of, ne? But it's the physical cash that was not being deposited and stuff. Otherwise, the child was on medical aid. Nat was paying for the medical aid, and she didn't even know that. Well, I think she knew. You know, he was taking care of all of those things. You know, when the child came, clothes would be bought, food would be bought, and all of that. If she called, it's the physical cash that was the problem. Okay, cool. So he gets served by the cops also. And then they've got a date set now for, what is this thing? For maintenance court. Now we've got two courts that are running. Okay. One day there's a date for child visitation. Another day, maintenance. Movie. A movie. Cool. Now I'm pregnant. I'm here with my own stomach now. But then I'm like, okay, as the actually name, everything happens for a reason. Every single thing. And the truth will always come out, guys. Like, if there's one thing that this whole situation taught me was that it doesn't matter what, when it's time for the truth to come out, Jonga, it'll do backflips to come out. You will literally be in a situation where, number one, you are walking down the road, you're not even supposed to be in that area at the time that you're in that area, and then you find a piece of paper that says you are not your mother's child. Like, when it's time for the truth to come out, listen, hectic in, like, things that you can't explain will be happening, okay? Like, hectic things. And it's all so that the truth must come out. And it's so weird. Like, God really does work in mysterious ways. Like, it's so weird when you think about how everything played out from day one when him and I started dating. It was just weird. So, cool. Now we've got two courts running. Sharp. We still need to go back to the visitation court, right? There was a date that was set. Date corner was set for March, remember, Sharp. And then that's when they were going to finalize everything. Now there was going to be a proper, like, parenting plan, visitation plan for them that they were going to use right up until, I think they were just going to go back to, like, review it if anything changes, if everyone wants to move or whatever, but it was going to stay in place and they were going to sort that out. And then sharp, because the one that they had now was like a temporary one that they quickly gave to them because the holidays and December was coming in and the court was going to close. Sharp. Then the maintenance court date was before the other child visitation date. You with me? Hope I'm making sense. Just stay with me. Before the date for maintenance court, we are obviously putting our things together. I'm helping him because now I'm also pregnant. It's definitely going to affect him, me as well, because now we are planning on building a life together. Like, we've even decided, this is it, I love you, you love me, you know. So it's like, it was a lot. Fine, they go to maintenance code. But before that, we're chilling one day at home, Nati and I now. Nati was smoking at that time. He was a smoker. He goes outside to smoke as usual. When he's outside, he'd usually smoke and just go on like TikTok, Facebook, or whatever. No, he's a Facebook guy. Goes on Facebook and he's just scrolling. Then he says to me, "Yeah, babe." I'm like, I'm in the room. It's like, "Do you remember that guy that I told you about?" It's me now, which guy? It's that guy that approached me years ago. So this guy, he told me about this in the beginning of the relationship. Remember when we were having those conversations about what happened between you and your baby mama? Why do you guys have so much drama? And you know, all of that, He tells me, he's like, so he was telling me some of the things that went down between them that led them to a point where he feels as though they should just break up, sharp. He's like, so he told me that when the child was born, there was a guy that approached him. I was like, "Sure, Dana, say, how are you?" "I know, I'm grand." And so he knows this person. And when he was telling me the story, he was like, "You know this person, man. I'm sure you know this person." And I'm just like, "Namas." Then is like, this person approached him and said to him, "Hey, I heard you got a kid with so-and-so." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And then this guy says, "No disrespect, but are you sure he's yours?" Okay. When I first heard this, I was just like, "Is he?" And then he said, "Yes, it's fine. I mean, she was my girlfriend. Yes, we're having unprotected sex. Yes, we did do the deed. So, like, there's no reason for me to believe that he was not." Okay, cool. Like, then we moved on from that. Like, conversation never happened ever again. Then we were just dealing with the whole trying to parent Gashle thing. Then, now he's smoking outside. He goes on Facebook, right? And he's like, "Do you remember that guy that I told you about?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I wanted to show you him. This guy's profile popped up. You're there by people you may know on Facebook. They're not friends. People you may know, this guy pops up there. In the middle of all this crap that is happening, it pops up there. And then he's like, "Yeah, man." Then he's like, "Come and see him." I waddle my ass outside to go and see this person. He clicks on the picture. I took that photo and I zoomed in and I was like, guys, when I tell you that man was identical to my boyfriend's son, Jonga, I was at the same time I'm not believing my eyes, because we're like, man, Pella, this thing was just like a passing conversation. Now I'm like, hey, he closes it. Hey, 10 minutes later, baby, let me see that picture. He opens the picture again. Hey, counter off. But I'm like, like at the same time. And when this thing happened back in the day, my boyfriend confronted her and she said, "No, this guy is claiming me." Like, and she was very chilled about it, and she was very, so even though Nati was like, "Cool, niggas do that." Tonga, I keep looking at this picture. I'm like, So then I say to him, "Would you be opposed to a DNA test?" He's like, he thinks about it, and he's just like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Do you know what, You mentioned this guy before. We're going through this whole process. You're speaking about it again now. Don't you want to put it to bed? And especially because of everything that is actually happening right now. Don't you want to put it to bed? He's like, yeah, actually, I think, because then he mentions, it's like, it is something that I think of sometimes. It's really at the back of my mind. But I'm like, it's like, do you want to carry on for the rest of your life? Like every 2 years, you think back to that day and you wonder. Then he's like, hey, okay, we can do it. So I'm like, okay, you can request a DNA test when you go to maintenance court. No? He's like, so should I request it? And I'm like, I think you should. Hey, sharp. He goes to speak to his parents. And the parents are just there like everyone is weirded out by the idea, because it's like, there's never been a time where the paternity was ever in question. It's always been fights about, you don't want me to see the child, you're not allowed to see the child, in and all of that. The paternity was never questioned. So everyone was just there like it's too bad. It was really one of those things where it was like why all of a sudden, you know? But he knew what he knew. And I knew because he told me. So I was like, let us check, just for the sake of being completely sure. Like, it's like, it was one of those things where it's like, we know, but we just want to make sure, because we just want to, I don't know, there was just something that was just like, let's just confirm. You know? Cool. Then they get to court, ne, on the day. When they get to court, it's their first day now of maintenance court, right? Sharp. When they get there, the formalities. I use Banban. Yes. Do you know Banban? Yes. I use Banban's father. Yes. I use Banban's mother. Yeah. You guys know each other. Yeah. Cool. Dad, mom says mom has brought you to court for maintenance, right? Do you acknowledge that who is your child? Now that question, at that point, because he knew now what he was going to ask for, ne? When they asked him that question, do you acknowledge that who is your child? Ne? He froze. He was, you know. And then before he said anything, the lady that was there was like, do you want a DNA test? And then he was like, yes. Mugel was there like, you want that? She was pissed, and I was like, valid. Like, I'd also be mad. Like why all of a sudden? Why? Okay, whatever. Okay, cool. You are well within your rights to request a DNA test. This is the process. This is how it works. We use this people. They mentioned the company and all of that. You will need to pay 2,000 Rand out of your pocket, because you are the one that's requesting it. You'll pay 2,000 Rand out of your pocket, and then you guys will need to come back in a few days' time. And mommy, please bring the child, because you guys need to do the DNA test. Ne? Sharp. Daddy, are you gonna pay? Yes, I'm gonna pay. Okay, cool. Bring the money on the day. Ne? Sharp. Well, a few days pass. They have to go back to court. They go back to court. When they get there, child is there, excited to see his dad, and they take the swabs. Ne? Mom, dad, child. Sure, we took him. So they take everyone's swabs. They're like, okay, they're gonna go to the lab, and we're gonna call you guys back with the results. It should take 2 weeks, ne? The longest 2 weeks ever. Jonga. It was so heavy for him and for me too. Because it was like, one day you're like, yeah, this is the right thing. Another day you're like, why are we even doing this? Why are we even doubting? You know, the poor child and stuff like that. And I mean, we know this child, and we love him, all of that. So it's like, why are we, even doing that? And the guilt and all of that. Then they've got, immediately after that court, I think the 2 days afterwards or whatever, they had the child visitation court. Now they go back to that court, right? So these 2 courts are running concurrently. When we get to the other court, right, Judges, they're like, hi parents, how are you guys? Welcome. This is what's happening. Like, you know, then they mentioned that, oh no, we do have maintenance court running on the other side. And then he's like, okay, cool, and what's happening that side? And then she jumps first because obviously she's upset, you know. Yeah, he asked for a DNA test. Judge was like, also shocked also, because it's really weird for you to go and start a process of child visitation and all of a sudden want a DNA, you know, afterwards. It's, you know. So judge was there like, okay, daddy, you asked for DNA test? Yeah, it's okay. So what happened? No, they went and they took the swabs and all of that, and then they're waiting for the results. And then he's like, okay, cool. So pending those results, ne, we're going to put this court on pause. You guys will carry on with the interim plan that I've put in place, right? And then when those results come back, we'll also come back this side. So let me schedule it for, they said when are you going to get the results? You know, within 2 weeks or this day. And then he's like, okay, you guys are scheduled to be back here on this date. And then you guys would have gotten the results and then we'll finalize what's happening here. Okay, cool. Then she says, it's so funny that in this court, he knows that it's his child, but in the other court, he's not sure. Nah. Okay. Judge was just there like, just shh. Just, because like, it's not a kind process. It's not a nice process to go through, but you are also not a saint in the whole situation, you know? And you've got the slight remarks, you've got the slight comments, just keep quiet. Like, she was just working on everyone's nerves. It wasn't a thing where people were taking sides, but you were just working on everyone's nerves because everyone is trying to fix the situation, you know? Hence why everyone is there. Alright, cool. They were just like, just. Then, cool. Now we're sitting and we're waiting for the results, ne? Then the date comes when they need to, when they called. I think they got a call and then they're like, the results are ready, they need to come to court on a certain day. That does ending. I've never, like, we were praying ne? And we didn't even know what we were praying for. We were just praying just for everything to go well, you know, just for this thing to end. Because now my pregnancy was on pause, ne? In a sense of, we were not enjoying the pregnancy. It was just like, my stomach is growing, yes, but we're dealing with all of this. Like, we're not even focused on what's happening here, ne? So my pregnancy was really like, yo, it wasn't the best. So now we go to court and they're going to get the results, right? They go inside. When they go in, they sitting outside, then they get called in by this lady, ne? This lady calls them in. She's standing and she goes, calls their names, both of their names, and then says, yeah, the results are in. They're in this envelope. You see the envelope is sealed, it was not opened, not tampered with, all of that. Cool. Ne? She opens the envelope, she takes it out, she reads it. And then she goes, in vernac, Aksuba Bengan. And then she carries on with what she was doing. So the shock hits Unati. And then he goes, huh? Aksuba Bengani. Ne? Then they say to her, they turn to baby mama now. And they're like, ma'am, he's not the dad. You can request another DNA test, but everything was fine. All the samples were valid and everything. If you request another DNA test, you will pay for it. But we can't do another one. She declines. She says she doesn't want to do another one. He's standing there just dumbstruck, like not understanding. And then baby mama turns and walks away, like walks out to say, well, okay, it's done, whatever. That lady was like, hey, come back here. We're not done. We're not done. You need to pay him back his money. And turns to Nati now and says, if she doesn't pay you back, you need to go to small court claims and you can go and take her to court to claim back your money. Ne? But like everything that this lady is saying right now, ne, like it doesn't matter. Like dude, just wait. What did you say? Just hold on with the money. So she's explaining all of these things, that this is the process, you do this, and like Nancy's just there like, Ima, just hold on. And then she runs off, like she leaves. And that day when she walked out of that court, nah, we literally never saw her again, or the child. Comes out, he gets into the car, and then he just goes, I'm scared. I'm like, oh, Kusam. He says, he's not my child. Like, yo, the hurt in his face. Jonga, he was not okay. For months afterwards, he was not okay. I'm like, what? He shows me the paper, and I read it, and he points and stuff. It's got everyone's like numbers and names and all of that. So there's mom, remember, mom, dad, child, and then it shows the match to the mom, and then it also shows the match to the dad, and then with the mom, iacho. Like, it's got numbers, food. It's very scientific. It's got numbers. There's these chromosomes. They put these things there. I wish we still had the paper, but in him being upset, he ripped up all of those things and he threw them away. But it had, like, you know, percentages and numbers, but it also explains at the end for someone who doesn't understand, this is what this means, this is what this means, and if this person was the father, the parent, biological parent of this child, it would look like this. The number would be below this, so it would be above that or whatever. But at the end, there was a statement there that according to the DNA test, nah, it is impossible for this person to be this person's biological father. I read that thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, because what are the chances that everything played out the way it did? Like, what are the chances? Now we need to go and tell the family. Guys, we are not here to go and tell his family, and no, like, no one was okay, hey? No one was okay. Like, no one was okay. And another thing I think that made things was there was absolutely no closure whatsoever. And I'm like, it's not my son. And he gives me the paper and I read the paper. So then after he tells his family, the family reaches out to their family, because like they had done everything culturally correctly. By Shawulingane, they did all of those things. And for them, when they find this out now, it's not just going to be a thing of, oh, okay, they need to come back together as a family and sit and discuss like a way forward, like what is going to happen. Like, I mean, they could even discuss, Uti, like, we are going to carry on raising this child and doing all of that and whatever, you know. They reached out, calls are not answered. They reached out multiple times, calls are not answered. And then Nati also reached out, and it was like a dead end, to a point like eventually he was just like, okay, when are you gonna pay me my money? And then she was like, I'll pay you when I have it. And then eventually I was just like, just leave it. Just leave it, because like she's not gonna pay you. I don't think she's gonna pay you, and honestly, you're just prolonging this whole process. And he was also like, you know what, it's fine. And that was that, guys. That was literally that. Like, his clothes are still at the house, his toys are still at the house. Like, it ended just like that. Like, there was no closure, there was nothing. She walked out of that court, and that was the end. The only time they saw her again was at the children's court now. Because remember, there was that other court that was still running. So they go back to that court a few days later. When they get there, that's when they see each other again. When they get there, they just stood there. The judge started speaking, but he did say, it's okay, first things first, what were the results? And then Natsi said that, no, he's not my son. And the judge was there like, he just closed his like file, because he had the file open because he was starting to work. He just closed that file and he was just, and he looked at her and I was like, you are like a vile person. That's what he said to her. He said, you are a vile person. And honestly, you put this man through so much only to find that he's not even the father. And he just told her like his opinion and what he thinks and all of that. And then eventually he's like, but actually, do you still want to carry on with this? You know? But at the end of the day, she is now the only legal guardian of this child. He cannot have a say in that. Ne? He cannot say, I still want to be his dad. If she says no, she says no. And then he was like, I don't know, we still need to figure out what's going to happen and stuff. And he was just like, just wow. Just wow. Like, he was just so like shocked and just in disbelief, like everyone in the whole situation, that all the drama, all the tears, all these years, and we don't know if she knew or not. We don't know if she knew that he was not the dad or whatever. And it was like, all for nothing? Bro, like, really? And she was just there like nonchalant, and she had no expression whatsoever. She wasn't sad, she was just there. And I was like, yeah. And that is the story of how we found out that his first child was actually with me. Because we had already like prepared that, oh, we're gonna have 3 kids and stuff like that, and you know, all of that stuff. But we ended up having 2 kids. And that's what happened, guys. Like, it was really like a sad story and stuff. I did speak to Nati about it. He did say that I can do a story time on my YouTube about what happened. He's fine with it. He is, I think, yeah, he is over it now. He's healed now. He's okay now. But yeah, that's what happened. And moral of the story, ne, the truth will always come out. And when it's time for the truth to come out, ne, it's going to show you flames, because when it wants to come out, nothing is going to stop it. It's going to cause a mess. It's going to cause riff-raff. You're going to be attending 2 different courts at the same time. You are going to... Jonga, is those of upside down. Yonkindo izot, because the truth wants to come out, and it will come out. And it was also like such a lesson for me, because I was always on the side of the woman when it came to like situations like this. I was always on the woman's side. Men are trash. Abafana. To a point where I even thought my man was trash at some point. I was just like, when you got excuses, when you are a typical South African dad, when you you know, I was doing all of those things, but at the same time I was like, you know, you can change. It's not like you can't change or whatever. You can change. But I also had that thing of, because I was biased even towards him. And in the end, I was like, yo. So how many people are going through this and the kids aren't even theirs? Guys, it's lit out here. Women are dangerous. Yo. Jonga, umfazi will show you flames, okay? Umfazi will show. That's why kuthiwa umfazi ufa esazi. Okay? Women are capable of horrible things. So yeah, that's the story, guys. And yeah, for those people that don't believe in the courts of South Africa, I'm here to tell you that if you have nothing to hide, the courts work. Like in my experience, what I've seen, the courts work, they do their job, okay? Because even him, he had nowhere to hide. As much as he was doing the, what do you call this thing? The visitation court, né? The court was still there for her to go to for maintenance, you know? So honestly, you guys can take each other to court and you guys will find a solution or whatever. Obviously, we don't know now. I know people complain when it comes to the amount of money that the court settles on. People say that it's not fair, it's too little. But we don't know. Okay? We never got to that point. But yeah, that's what happened. And we haven't seen them since. We haven't seen them. No, I'm lying. Actually, he bumps into her sometimes on the road. We need to move out of this area. Okay, guys. So I hope you like the story time. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, I hope this helps someone out there. And yeah, this is my first time doing a story time, guys. Don't judge me too harshly, nah? But enjoy your days. Bye.